This is just for the few that are going to listen to this, but I don't need to watch your movie centers to know what this stupid movie is trying to to programming people, dude. I hate doing these videos because I know it just makes me look so crazy, but I really don't care at this point. The truth of the matter is this. The main point that you need to understand about this movie, Sinners, it's got all the dumb nonsense that they've been trying to pre-program into people. Notice how, the thing that's worse than the vampire Remick is the KKK. They're still trying to perpetrate the stupid Civil War, race war crap that they've been trying to convince people to do for the longest time, guys. They're still doing that nonsense. Remick, he just wants to see his loved ones that he lost. That's why he wants the power from from the guy who plays the guitar. I read the spoilers, so again, I'm not going to waste my money to watch these movies. You know what I'm saying? But, again, he's just kind of a sub-boss. The ultimate boss at the end is racism and, of course, white people. Guys, if you're paying attention, you're just seeing all these fraudulent stories that they're coming out in the news every day. I'm trying to tell you, they've been trying to start a civil war and a race war. They've been coming out with movies like Civil War, you understand. Obama and Michelle Obama are producing movies and they're taking shots at Tesla. They don't hide what they're trying to do, guys. They really don't. And they're not doing that in this movie as well. Another thing is, what was that dumb movie back in the day? The Exorcist. So we saw that Exorcist was a Christian-oriented movie, you understand. And this is how the enemy works. He wants you to think that light and darkness can mix together and that the Lord our God, Jesus Christ, is going to be accepted towards Buddhists and all this other stuff. That's not the case at all, guys. First of all, he is holy. That means set apart. You understand? He wants you all to be holy and set apart. He tells you not to be unequally yoked. He tells you can two walk together and not be agreed. He even when you read books like Leviticus, things like that, he didn't even allow the mixing of fabrics. God is not going to join himself to a harlot, guys. Do you understand? And they want you to always accept a harlot, They want you to be a harlot, whether you're a male or female. But in Exorcist, the newest one that came out, that's supposed to now be the official prequel to, the 1973 one, they persecute and destroy the Christian white family, and the voodoo black family, they get saved, but, the demon doesn't choose them. It chooses the white girl who is a Christian. It's no different in this. They're trying to act like, at the end of this movie, one of the brothers, after he kills the KKK, he sees his wife and their baby that they lost, you understand? And I guess this signifies once again that, they're going to heaven and things like that. Also pay attention that, the main female, other than, I forgot her name, Hailey Steinfeld or whatever her name is a big black woman, you understand? You've been noticing how they've been trying to not, have sexy women as stars in movies. They uglify them today, even in gaming, things like that. So you got this, I'm not saying that she's unattractive, you know what I'm saying? But again, you're pretty much putting all your little boxes that you need ticked out there for the viewers. But she also is like a Mother Gaia type figure. She practices voodoo in the movie. She's the one that knows all the rules. You understand? It's no different than that, guys. It's no different. They're trying to tell you it's okay if you have different beliefs and this and that. It all leads to heaven, this and that. It's nothing new. They never... they put it right there in front of your face. And that's not going to be the case, guys. It's really not. Especially after a dude just went crazy and killed the KKK, killed a bunch of people. But I know this is going to be offensive to a lot of people, but regardless, I'm just telling you how it is. Another thing, the two that do survive, which I don't think the movie really explains why that's the case, those two, they got rid of the old vampire who was a white Irish vampire, and he was unreasonable and this and that, although he wasn't that bad, and again, not as bad as the KKK. They signify Lilith and Samael, or, you're seeing these themes of Lilith and Samael starting to pop up as well. So, they're a little bit better than the older version of evil, Again, they're more reasonable. You know, they have a little bit more humanity. You know, they don't like the fact that they chose the choice that they made, which was the low-hanging fruit. They live forever, but he never can't see the sun no more, and he misses his brother. They try to get you to sympathize with evil, guys, and I'm trying to tell you, the Bible tells us we are not to tolerate evil. You know, they're trying to always get you to get your guard down. This is another reason that you need to understand, you know, the vampires need to be invited in. You got to give them permission and things like that. You know, if they're making a deal with you, you know, you got to always permit them and give them permission. You know, you do have power and authority over these things, especially if you are in Christ Jesus. It's just that simple. Evil's not even going to mess around with you, you know, if you're protected by the Lord our God. We see this in books such as Numbers, you know, the whole portion. I forgot his name. I did a couple videos on him. Balak, or Balaam, actually. You know, he tried to curse the Israelites, or he didn't try. He let Balak know that he can't do it. You know, these people, they're blessed. And he even prophesied Jesus coming and things like that to Balak, you know, that whole thing. But when the Israelites, he did provide information on how to be a stumbling block. And this occurred when some of the men got tricked into getting with some of these temple prostitute women and eating food sacrificed to other gods. That's what I'm saying. In this battle, you cannot mix yourself with this stuff. You can't make a deal with it. You know, it's not going to be this, you know, yeah, I do voodoo, but I'm still good. Yeah, I'm a white witch. Yes, I'm a black witch, or whatever this nonsense is that they're trying to tell you. That's just not going to be the case, guys. It's really not. But the two at the end, they symbolize a new beginning. You know, we're better than the last guy. You know, we're more reasonable. We're more agreeable. We're humanists. You know, it's secular humanism again. Even the guy who plays the guitar, he chooses his own way. You know what I'm saying? His father tries to tell him to stop the music and things like that. You know, even in the movie, he's able to summon spirits and things from all times. And that's the whole reason why this guy wants his powers to begin with. And this is ultimately, this is where, if you guys are still here and you think this video is already crazy, I'm just going to tell you this right now. This is the ultimate thing that this movie shows you. Before I get to this point, though, notice how the vampires are collective. They have a hive mind. Who's been preaching collectivism? People like Kamala. You see the leftists and things like that. You know, they always talk about collectivism. That's what they want. They want people to just be controlled and by a central force or whatever else, or a central power. So they're trying to breed that into your mind as well. But last and least, this is where it gets really crazy. In my research, you know, they're coming out with all this information about pyramids and things like that, you know. And we're being told that the aliens made the pyramids, you know, giants made the pyramids and whatever else, guys. I'm going to tell you the secret right now. In this movie, they have to tell you the truth. I'm just telling you this. You believe this or not. I don't really care at this point. All the crazy stuff that we've seen today, I really don't care anymore. But the bottom line is this: we built the pyramids. Everything that's been built has been off of our own sweat. Do you understand? The enemy has not been given what we've been given. We were made in the image of God. We can pray to God. Do you understand? We can ask him for forgiveness and things like that. The enemy does not have that ability. He cannot create, you know, what he was given, you know, it just wasn't enough. He was made perfect if you read the books of Ezekiel, things like that. But he does not have what we have. He needs us to do what he wants us to do. And he wants us to give up our gifts to him. And this movie highlights this perfectly. You understand? This guy thinks he can see his loved ones if he assimilates the dude who knows how to play the guitar. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Jack Parsons, again, claimed that he got his schematics, his designs from a demon. You understand? He said the Antichrist. But regardless of all that, you understand, he always makes us give up what we've been given, you know, to display and highlight God's glory. But I'm trying to tell you guys, these rockets, these cars, yeah, they may have given us ideas how to destroy each other, the nuclear bomb, whatever else. You understand? No doubt about it. And I'm not trying to talk him down. You understand? I don't think the enemy's stupid. Of course, you read the Bible, he's wiser than Daniel. You know, He's told that he was perfect in all his ways, guys. But pride was the thing that made him fall, you understand? But regardless of all that, they need us to give up our gifts. We have things, again, the Lord our God, he's the only one that knows how to create. You understand? The enemy does not have that ability. Man has a lot of ingenuity. We were made perfect, guys. We were. Everything. Even when we grow old, the enemy always wants you to accept the low-hanging fruit, fame, fortune, whatever else to get you to try to compromise yourself. And that is the whole point that I hope people get when they watch this type of nonsense. I understand the cinematography sound probably is all cool and all that. I know people who have been drinking the Kool-Aid when they see on the television, telling them how they should think and how they should see and think. You may be offended at this video. You may believe that, racism, when these people are behind it, you understand? They're so behind it, it's not even funny. But, this is the party of the KKK, by the way. They call everyone else Nazis, but they like to do things such as eugenics and things like that. They hate the family dynamic unless it's immigrant, especially from the MS-13, which are known Satanists, you understand. Guys, these people have showed their cards time and time again. You know what I'm saying? And you guys just got to start looking at the truth here. But what God gave you, he made you perfect. Understand that. Read Psalm 139. If you need confirmation on that, you are made perfect. What he gave you is good, guys. It is. And you read the Bible again, he gave us all gifts. All gifts are from above. You understand? Don't take the low-hanging fruit and compromise yourself for the enemy. And that's all I really got to say for now. Again, I know people are going to be offended. They like that dude went out and just killed the king. I've been trying to tell you, they've been trying to subliminally get people into a stupid proxy race war, guys. The Ukraine's a proxy war, guys. Everything's proxy with these people. They like to set people up against each other. It makes them feel like they're in control and whatever else, These are the evil big bads behind this. It's the ideas that they're pushing. Collectivism, again, just like in this movie. All the vampires are connected, and one guy gets all the gifts, They're trying to use music. Oh, the white man stole the music too. You know what I'm saying? Guys, God created music. God created the eyes. He created everything, all seen and unseen. Don't get wrapped up in color, stripes. You know what I'm saying? If it's a zebra or if it's a lion. Again, guys, don't get caught up in all that nonsense. It's all distraction. You need to look to the source, and you just got to see what's right there in front of your face. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.